Hello there, I'm Daz. Today I'll be playing through a mod that I've recently installed. This is called Lady of the Lake Mill and is described as a player home with a mini quest. This mod is created by NeonEye YT. I'll put that in the description, and can be started by reading a note at Fort Dawnguard in Isran's quarters. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm standing just in the entrance hall of Fort Dawnguard. So I made a practice run of this mod earlier today. You can obtain some nice new gear and a couple of new spells. I did run into one or two bugs, I'm afraid, but on the whole, I think it's going to be a keeper. So here is a note for Isran. This provides a new map marker for the Lady of the Lake Mill. The letter is from an aptly named acquaintance of Isran's called Stoker. He is asking for a meeting, which I am going to attend in Isran's place. So I'll take that. We have a new map marker, which I will show you once we get outside. The key to our new home can be found under a rock at the foot of the stairs. So the new map marker can be a little bit tricky to spot, as it shows on the map as being already discovered. I was expecting it to be blacked out. But you need to look around Lake Illinalta. There we have Illinalta's Deep and the Lady Stone. And not too far from North Shriekwin Bastion we have Lady of the Lake Mill. I'll fast travel to North Shriekwin so we can take in the approach to our new home. So I ran into a dragon attack on the practice run. Hopefully he's buzzed off to pester someone else. Right. I'll just wind the time on a little. So we have a nice rustic scene. Here is our new horse. He's actually quite sturdy. I set about him on the practice run, and his health bar was pretty substantial, and he was ultimately invincible. So a quick look around outside. We have some planters. I do not have any ingredients, I'm afraid, in my inventory, so I can't test that. Some fishing supplies. Around the back we have a forge. This seems to be a basic forge, not an all forge, but it's got all the accessories, as you can see. Very nice. A working lumber mill, it would appear. Chopping block also, for any archers out there. Okay, so the key is under this rock pile. Let's get inside. Before I do anything else, and so that I don't forget, I'll read this note now, which provides directions for the next location. Okay, so Stoker has got tired of waiting. He's moved on to Tomb of the Dead Moon. which is west of here. So I'll be heading there very shortly. We have a new map marker for that. So we have a basic home, some storage. There are a couple of shrines in here, Shrine of Stendar here, and one to Zenithar downstairs. These weapon plaques seem to work without any issues. As you can see, I've just managed to retrieve my very nice Dragonbone sword. I've not been able to test these long term, obviously. So down here, a bed, more storage. There are no crafting stations, I'm afraid. There is the Shrine of Zenithar. So okay. So basic but serviceable, I would say. Let's get out of here and move on to our next location before any nasties turn up to thwart fast travelling. So I am here, and I'm now moving on to Tomb of the Dead Moon. Alright. So, there's been a bit of a scuffle. We've got dead vampires and Dawnguard. A few urns outside. In here, we're going to run into two vampires. One of the basic sort and a mini boss. So I'll deal with the basic vampire first as quickly as possible, so I can concentrate on the boss.
Teach them a lesson. I love it when
Okay, so I'm going to use some conjuration magic, because this lady has got some powerful spells. Yep, she's got this spell that inflicts fire damage and paralysis. Okay, I didn't know which way I was facing then.
No match at all.
Okay, so Elizabeth has a note with our final waypoint. This tells us that we need to head to the northern coast of Solstheim. The note is from Rackjaw. So I've read that, but the new waypoint does not seem to have appeared on the map, so maybe I need to read that again. Okay, so we have 3 spell tomes here. Armour of the Blood Witch, Grimm's Flame, and Reaping. So this is one of the bugs I ran into the first time around. I read all 3 of these, only 2 of them appeared in my spell list. This one here, Armour of the Blood Witch, which appears to be an alteration spell, did not show up, so I'm not going to dwell on that one too long. I'll read it though. Grimm's Flame gives fire damage, paralysis and soul trap. Reaping absorbs health, and it says there magicka twice, but I was on the receiving end of this one, and it actually does inflict health damage, magicka damage and stamina damage. So I'll read that as well. We have a 3-piece armor set, Secundus plate. I'll take all of those. Okay, I will read that note to Elizabeth again to make sure I get the map marker. There we are, map updated. I'll go to the spell list to see which spells we have actually picked up. So I've got Grim's Flame. So in appearance this was a destruction spell looking at the book cover, but it was listed as alteration in the description. So I've got that one. I'm going to test that in just a moment. The armor spell is not in my list, so that seems to be a persistent bug. And there we have a reaping. Okay, so I've got 2 of the new spells. Let's test out the Grim's Flame on one of my little assistants here. Very nice. Okay, so a quick look round before I leave. Here is Stoker, who has unfortunately met a sticky end. Does he have anything? No, just some gold. Okay, so let's get out of here and head off to our final destination, where we can pick up some more unique gear. So off to Solstheim it is. So our new location should be right beside Glacial Cave. There we are, Rackjaw's Jetty. I'll fast travel to Glacial Cave. And you need to be ready for a tough fight here. There is a guardian standing outside that is quite tough to get by. I'm going to use Bound Bow and Dremerer. He has a large battle axe which has the paralysis enchantment. I couldn't think of the word then. So best not to get too close to him. Where do you think you're going? Okay. So we'll take Krell's Bane. Search Krell. So he has some nice unique gear. Fist of the Shattered Bone. Fortifies two-handed by 50%. One-handed and archery by 25%. And plus 30 unarmed strikes. Veil of the Shrouded Void, magic resistance and 45 shouts. Boots of the Swift Dead, carrying capacity, stamina regeneration, and enemy power attacks will stagger the attacker. Armor of the Fallen, increases armor rating and magic resistance. Okay, so you can actually break down some of these at an arcane enchanter, and there is an enchanter in this new area, so I'll be checking out that before completing this video.
Something's not right.
Okay, is there anything else?
No match at all.
Okay, so that's that lot dealt with. Where do we start? So this was a Volkihar vampire. So she's not going to have anything unique. She's got some items there that come from a different mod. The Vampire Knights mod, so I'm not going to dwell on those. So here we have Elizabeth. So she has a 3-piece armor set also, which seems to be a little bit stronger than the previous set. And a great sword, Lunatic Storm, shock damage, and banish Daedra. Very nice. And the other named boss, Rackjaw. So Rackjaw Steel Hide, fire resistance, fortifies destruction, and health regeneration. Rackjaw Steel Claw, frost resistance, magicka regen, and conjuration fortification. And that does the same, frost resistance, magicka regen, and conjuration fortification also. Rotjaw's Cleaver, magicka damage and stamina damage. Okay, so before completing this video, I don't think there are any chests around here. We have a couple of crafting stations, including the arcane enchanter, so I just want to see what can be broken down. So boots of the swift dead, that's the carrying capacity, stamina regen. Fist of the shattered bone, veil of the shrouded void. So obviously it's going to be a good idea to make a save before you do this, just to make sure that we are getting what we think we're going to get. So let's check out the enchantments, see if I've managed to get all 3 of those. So Fist of the Shattered Bone. Okay, so we have that. It doesn't work quite as expected. I have max enchanting and I have a grand soul gem in my inventory, and you can see that when I click on this, the two-handed fortify increases to 172% from 50, but the rest of the stats remain steady at 25% and 30 unarmed damage. Okay, so Swift Dead, carrying capacity increases to 344. The stamina regen stays as it was, 100%. Veil of the Shrouded Void, magicka resistance with my stats can be increased to 82%. The Fortify Shouts remain steady at 20%. So that seems quite useful. Before I leave, a quick run around here, make sure I'm not missing anything. There is a lot of gore, but what else would you expect with vampires everywhere? There is a very steep set of stairs here with a false door at the top. As you can see from the local map, there is no exit point. So that seems to be everything, folks. Hopefully people have found this useful. I think this is a nice little mod. As I think I mentioned at the beginning, I'll be keeping this one. A little bit disappointing about the armor spell being bugged, but all things considered, quite a nice little mod. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.